sound going. Let me get the music, which, by the way, I think I get copyrighted for every time, but it ain't gonna stop me because it's so good. Yep. Guys, welcome back to the Snowcast, episode 15, featuring my friend Lotus of DOOM. Guys, Lotus of DOOM is a very busy guy. This guy is on the Tales of Tamriel podcast. He is also a streamer on the Lotus of DOOM channel. And then to top it off, I swear, the thing I'm going to ask this guy most about is his Twitter account. This guy is literally the most vibrant Twitter user, and I love it. I love it, and it's honestly really fun just to see all the people he comments on, all the conversations he starts. So, Lotus, welcome to the show, buddy. Welcome back to the show, actually. This is your second time here.
It's been a while. I actually believe the first time when I first joined you, I had just joined Tales, and that was straight up 2 years ago plus or something.
And you had just gotten your new computer set up when you had just gotten your new one.
Just exploded. Yep. So I got the new one, which is what I'm on right now, which is good. And I'm trying not to deafen everybody with audio versions of the thing, so it's a horrible echo, but I would like to be able to actually bring up the stream.
Yeah, no, your audio sounds good right now. You got a really fancy mic there hanging over, real classy.
Yeah,
definitely.
The actual the douchebag mic off in the corner.
Dude, I even got the douchebag pop filter, and I got it oversized, so it's see, I have a pop. I'm serious because I even bought the pop filter.
Yep, I was tempted. What do you call it? Pixie from Tales. She's got the thing where it's hanging on a unit. So how can I explain this? If you hit the table, it doesn't clank. It's got the mic levitating on strings, so that it won't shake and pick up the audio.
Damn.
And I'm I should probably do that because the amount of times I clank down a giant glass mug.
Yeah.
And I'm okay, gotta edit that real quick.
Or when you're playing the game and you slam, I hit the table because maybe I have a bit of an anger problem. Table and then the whole mic, and I'm oh, sorry everyone, I didn't mean to do that. But
yeah,
there's so many things, dude, I want to talk to you about. I think that's one of the reasons I really wanted to have you on, was so many different aspects of just gaming, Elder Scrolls, streaming, Twitter, so many things I want to talk to you about. But the first thing I want to talk to you about was the Bethesda days you attended last weekend. By the way, dude,
yes. You
have some clout in the ESO community, bro. I'm logging on, and I see you on the Bethesda Twitch doing a, it was a game show trivia thing with Rich Lambert and Gina, if I'm correct.
Yes.
And you won.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You brought the trophy home, dude.
Yeah, I'd actually have it downstairs. We got sweet little golden laurels, which were the same things you get in-game from the Mid-Year Mayhem event.
Dude.
They're actually, they gave us actual metal ones.
That's crazy.
But yeah, I was gonna say that was also shout out to Alara from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, the Elder memes, and obviously Rich Lambert, because that's whose team I was on. Big thumbs down to Mike Finnegan, who is awesome, but we totally beat you. So, despite your superior kazoo skills during that bogus minigame, when no one told me how to use a kazoo,
what was
I found out you don't just blow into it; you have to make humming sounds. So yeah, I learned how to use a kazoo. That was that's what I take away from Bethesda game days, I guess.
So yeah, so the first thing I want to talk to you about is how were you approached to be on that show? Was it because of your affiliation with Tales of Tamriel? And you really are one of the, I think, staples of the ESO community because you're in so many different aspects of it, though. You're in the podcasting community, you're in the streaming community, you're in the Twitter community. I'm
just loud and in a lot of places.
Hey,
so
it's a really, dude,
it.
It's a really good thing. Seriously, you should be extremely proud. I remember when you were just kind of starting, and
Yep.
So you should be really proud of yourself.
No, everybody is super nice in this community, which. I went on to Tales as a guest at the quite a while ago, and everybody was so nice, which is very flattering because I can't stand the sound of my own voice. So I actually like our show substantially less and have to. Editing is tricky because I don't want to listen to myself drone on.
I totally get that.
Yeah. But no, people were just so nice and everything like that. And I have a ton of fun doing it. So I just really enjoy the whole series. It's my favorite series or whatever. I mean, Morrowind, as I've mentioned many times wherever, is that that's basically my like all-time favorite game.
Yep.
And I've gotten into just a bunch of different aspects, and it makes it easier when pretty much everybody is so nice about the stuff that I produce, whether I think it's like mediocre or something I'm actually
not,
like,
though.
oh yeah, I'm glad I did
Yeah,
this.
it's
or
usually
whatever.
really good content. No, it really
Well,
is.
I appreciate it, but yeah, I don't know. I have fun talking to people and discussing this stuff. This is definitely my like ultra nerd habit, and it's been very nice. As for the show that I was invited on, as we found out a while back, we live pretty close to each other.
Yeah, we do. We do.
And so Bethesda Game Days, as you know, is actually not that far away.
It's literally
Being
40
that it's
minutes.
yeah,
40
I was
minutes.
gonna say, it's very close by, being from the Boston area.
Yep.
So that's always like my thing that I go to, and we've I again the team at ZOS is super responsive. So you ask them a question, and for the most part,
They'll get
within
back to
reason.
you.
Yeah, within reason. It's not like they can drop everything. They do have jobs, so that's its own thing. But they will get back to you, or they'll try to redirect you to somebody that can help, which is really awesome. And they sent out a thing based on last year. I was trying to get a promo pic for the show, and Rich was like, oh, absolutely, we'll set up in front of the Elsewhere display and everything like that for the 25th anniversary. He was like, yeah, we're right in the back room now. I was like, okay, cool. I'll be in like, I don't know, 15 minutes or whatever. And he was like, what do you mean you'll be in like 15 minutes? I was like, well, I mean, as soon as I get through the line. And it was the most flattering thing that's probably ever been said to me of, you can swear on this, right?
Go fucking for it.
Okay, because I was like, I've been doing my best to edit.
No.
I'm
Yeah,
on
you
my
can
own
let it
live
loose.
streams. So, his response was, "Why the fuck are you in line?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know, because there's a line to get in." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You do make stuff for the game, like you."
Yeah, you're a
You
content
can
creator.
apply for something, like you technically classify it as media. And I was like, if you say so. Whatever. So true to their word, they put me through I'm sure they won't care too much if they. So I got the email to allow us through so that we could do the promo stuff. Like, there's reasoning to have us go through like a little early and not get gridlocked in line. But yes, so I got the email, and some of us got QR codes that they would just scan at the front desk.
Okay.
And some of us did not for some reason. And I was one of the people who did not. I did get it the day after the event, though. I think it just got backlogged. But I went through like the sideline, and when they were like, okay, so who are you? And I was like, oh, here's my actual like name, and here's my ID or whatever. They're like, okay, yeah, but do you have the QR thing? And I was like, no, but I have this email from your community director.
Yeah, here.
Like, okay, I guess that seems like a pretty good reason.
Yeah, that's
So, like,
legit
just let
enough.
me in. And I was like, oh man, that seems like it could be a really cheap bypass.
Yeah, that's a good point, but
Yeah, but no, so they were super accommodating, and I got to go through. But on the list, they just did a survey for people from the community of, would you like to be involved? And you just said yes or no, and I believe it was random how they picked it.
okay.
So I just happened to, because Pylon, who is also from the unofficial Elder Scrolls pages, he got called in twice for the Lifeline thing during the show because he wasn't picked, so he was just chilling in the audience. But he applied too, so I think it was just random luck that I happened to be up there, and also the fact that Stormlords actually is part of the Dungeon Crawler Network with us over at Tales of Tamriel and stuff like that. So it's kind of funny we were against each other.
Yeah. That works out pretty well, actually.
It did, and we got a lot of comments on the Discord as we argued over the question of what was it, where some fish was from, and yeah, we were arguing over where in Shadowfen it took place, and we were both wrong because it had nothing to do with either of that. So yeah, we really knocked that question out of the park.
So how many questions? So I sadly didn't get to watch it, but how many questions were there? Rounds? Like, what was like the setup of the game show?
I think it was like 10 or 15 minutes a round.
Okay.
Was something like that. So it was just as many questions, and it was done like Jeopardy style. So you just kind of picked what it was, and then there was like an in-between thing where you had some challenge, and that was where I got to learn that I don't know how to play kazoo. But we didn't have a chance anyways, because turns out Finn could do the entire Undaunted theme on a kazoo, so there wasn't really going to be any beating that.
Yeah, that's not fair.
Yeah, that was like a standing ovation moment for him. I was like, all right, well, it doesn't matter.
Just put it down. So. I'm getting off the stage. I was good.
Yeah, it's like, GG. He has my vote for the best.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about too with the Bethesda Days is obviously the Bethesda Days. It had to have been promotion for Greymoor, which for anyone who's listening doesn't know, it's the new Elder Scrolls Online chapter. So every year, guys, Elder Scrolls Online releases a full-blown chapter. It's basically like a quarter game added to ESO. Like, it is a full new region, a full new story. Every other year, it's a full new class, and then if it's not a class, it's a new skill line added or a revamped skill line like this time. So is there a lot of Greymoor promotion at this event?
So, it's kind of weird. I don't know if they have deeper reasoning to it, because I don't have like any neat insider information as much as I would like it.
yeah, fair enough.
But I actually feel that they could have done way more to promote it, honestly.
Really? Okay.
Yes. It was really... So the focus was very heavy Fallout 76 Wastelanders.
Yep.
And Doom Eternal.
Okay.
So there was the ESO Games show. There was a miniaturized replica of what there was in Vegas with like the giant snow set thing.
Yep. I saw that. I was seeing the pictures.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. That was straight up like the only thing. Like that would
really,
yeah. And if I were to like take a guess, it would probably be because PAX was like a month early this year. Usually it's toward the end of March.
That's what it felt early to me because I went
because it was.
Yeah.
It was pretty fucking early, and I think that might have put a kink in the works. Like, if you're on PC, you have the new dungeons.
Yep. Neither do us.
Yeah. So we don't even have the new dungeons yet on console yet.
Nope.
We're
March
still
10th,
waiting.
5 days. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's like, if you give it an extra month, they would have more to promote, whereas they did not.
Yep.
For this, I think because of the timing.
Yeah, and then they did do their big reveal. I feel like it was like a month and a half ago.
Right. It was.
For Greymoor, so we're still kind of reaming on that.
Exactly. That was like middle of January, I believe that was. January 17th, something like that. Which, that event was awesome and stuff like that, but you could tell they just showed as much as there was as well. So it's like, I don't know. I think they're still kind of working on this shit as they go.
Oh, absolutely, I bet, yeah.
I bet nothing was worthy of being shown yet or whatever.
Yep. No, that wouldn't shock me, and I and this might be a real reach, but I also feel like ESO from what I see, it seems that the base community is really strong right now. So I don't think they need to dump a lot of their money into marketing and advertising. They can do it, and but I don't think they have to go overboard with maybe Doom or 7. I know Fallout has definitely had some. Yeah, so maybe
they're still trying to dig themselves out of that ditch, which...
Yeah,
I like Fallout 76 for what it is.
Yeah.
But anybody who denies that game is had some issues would be living under a rock. And, like, I'm interested to see what they've got coming with that. But like, man, if they can't nail this next thing, it's like, okay, the community's not going to keep giving you guys chances at this. So they needed to direct like a lot of attention to that. And I mean, for all I know, it could be too late over in the grand scheme of things or whatever. But
yeah,
for the most part, it's like, yeah, they had and Doom's huge, so
yep,
they've
Doom.
got that going.
And so the other thing I want to talk about now, just kind of shifting to Greymore a little bit, as someone who, and maybe I get the wrong impression, but you seem like a real lore guy. You seem to be someone who's very.
Yeah, I like a lot of the story and all that stuff. I'm not like, I always joke that like if you ask me for like dates and times on stuff,
yeah,
as bad with video game history as I am with real history. But I at least know the like settings to stuff like that, and well, at least usually.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask you what your opinion is on us going back to Skyrim for Greymore, the vampire skill line being reworked instead of there being a new skill line or even a new class. So some of the aspects of Greymore, how are you feeling about them? Like what's the overall vibe? I feel like it's a very positive vibe in the community. But then when I talk to individuals, it seems a little more like, I don't know how I feel it being half underground. I don't know how I feel about no class. So I guess I just wanted to like kind of pick your brain as an individual about this new DLC coming.
So, sorry, I just responded.
No. Go for it. Go for it. Yeah. Trust me, I type in chat too, so yeah. I got you.
I don't know. I guess for like the grand scheme of things, I'm pretty excited to see what they do with it, because their art team is really good and they've gotten better. And actually, related to that question in chat about how do you like the lore of Zone Quest, so some of them are obviously better than others.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've gotten progressively better.
Absolutely.
Going forward.
Absolutely.
The writing is vastly improved. You go into these quests that turn into these other quests and stuff like that. Lehman Tuttle is a really good writer, and so is on Twitter. It's Beautiful J. The two of them, like, I know, do a lot of the writing, and it's really, really good. And then the thing is, as all of the zones have kind of improved, as I don't know whether they're getting more money or they just are able to flex their skills more as they like have had practice, but like I'm very curious to see what Skyrim's going to look like, especially with Blackreach being so huge.
Yeah, it's like a huge 40%. Part. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's kind of nuts. So it's kind of, I'll be curious to see what their take is on it. The vampire skill line definitely needs
some love. Love.
Yeah, it does. Because there's a few you need to have these, and then a bunch of who cares skills. So, and most of them are passives anyways. The feeding animation sucks, so I'm glad that will not be garbage.
Yeah, no. I agree.
Because it looks ridiculous. Like, it straight up looks ridiculous as you, like, insert a straw to them from, like, across the map to drain them or whatever. But that's pretty cool. I do like that. The big bad threat is kind of weird after fighting dragons for an entire year and all that stuff. It's a little strange that we're just, like, back to
basics.
Almost like a smaller threat with vampires.
Yeah.
I'm also really curious what's up with the Reachman thing, like the Witch's Coven and stuff like that, that's summoning these Harrow Storms or whatever. And I actually want to see a Harrow Storm. Side kind of note on that, like, it's weird that the dungeon DLC is called Harrow Storm, but there are no Harrow Storms in it. You're getting the Harrow Storms in the Greymore chapter.
Yeah,
I feel like the naming committee could have.
It's a great name. It's a cool name. Better.
Yes. Also, to the fact that they're called wyverns and not.
Oh my
dragons.
God! Do not. Just kidding.
No, I am going to address this because.
Oh my God!
We went on tangent for like 40 minutes one podcast, and we determined the only way to solve this is to just call them all W Dragons. That's just the official canon name. they have to be W Dragons. I don't think anybody on the staff likes that, but that's what we always phrase it as when we talk to them about it. So it's just W Dragons. That
W
way they're
Dragons.
wyverns and dragons jammed into one thing.
Yeah, I mean they
we
don't
agree either.
Yeah, dude. Here's the crazy thing. I still haven't played Elsewhere.
Oh, it's really good.
I still haven't seen one. So I'm gonna pre-order Greymore, and then I'm gonna get Elsewhere with the pre-order. That's gonna be the way I do it. So.
That makes sense. I won't spoil anything, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you complete Northern and Southern Elsewhere, like both main stories, you can do them in whatever order you want. It's whatever. But if you do both of them, it unlocks a third secret quest line that completes everything.
Really?
Yes. And
that's cool.
If any, please, for the love of God, do that more, because
reward
the
that.
stories are great.
Yeah, but it's like a reward for actually caring about that stuff.
Yes, and you can place shit in any order you want in that game, and that's really new player friendly and stuff.
But for lore people, it's tough.
That extra continuity, and side note to that, the best part of Elsewhere is the secret thing you don't even know exists until you beat both of the things. Friggin' awesome. The boss fights are really cool. You get some really cool mechanics and stuff like that. I wish the difficulty was a little more.
That's probably the biggest reason I don't quest. I was gonna say, as someone who loves doing hard content, loves the feeling of accomplishment when you're doing something difficult. There's no quest in ESO that's hard. So, it's almost like, would I go play ESO? And this is me being 100% honest with an ESO quest. Do I want to do an ESO quest, or do I want to watch a Fudge Muppet video?
Yeah.
Because the Fudge Muppet videos, and I've just been really into them, are so well done. It's short, it's to the point, and there's just no... I feel like they need to incentivize questing more. So what you just said with the secret endings, if you're not going to make the content harder, you need to really reward the people that actually do the quests. So that's an awesome perk that I didn't know existed, and I think needs to be part of it.
Right. And they do... So the ending fights are a little more involved. They feel a little better. But the thing is, it also doesn't help that I play a tank. So, stuff dies super fucking slow when I'm fighting it anyway. That
might be a good idea, though. That might be a good idea for story content. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. You're right. It almost intentionally slows me down.
Yep.
But then the threat of death is literally non-existent. It's like, oh yeah, what are you gonna one-shot me? It's like you have nothing, like zero chance of death. But it'll take me longer to kill you or whatever. I will give credit. I really liked how the final boss fight of all the things ended. It's just, there was no threat of death. There was not like a concern you were going to die. It just looked really cool. If you could die during it too, that'd seem like that'd be pretty awesome. But it's really good content, which I'm sure if you have 0 CP, it's harder. Even then though, I've had a couple of my friends just started playing again. And they were like, yo, I'm just melting these stories. It's like, yeah, well.
Yeah, it's.
Yup, you are.
It's
just
tough.
It is what it is.
No, it's true. It's probably my biggest problem with ESO questing. And for me, like you said at the beginning, the quests are a little bit hit or miss where, there might be a quest where you're super involved. It's a super interesting background. And then there's another quest, gather 10 of these. And then at the end, the NPC insults you and says, yeah, you're a piece of shit anyway. Get out of here. And you're like, wait, whoa. I just spent 20 minutes getting you 10 sea salts for your wife, and then you just told me I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And that's it? And, someone could say, well, that's, the real world. But fuck that.
Well, it's like, okay, fine. Then I'm also going to burn down your hut. Well, enjoy.
Oh, but wait, I can't. So now I literally just have to sit and watch. And also with ESO 2, there's not always a lot of dialogue choice. So you don't feel like you're actually playing through a character. You feel like you're reading a book again, because it's like yes or no.
Right.
But what happens if no? The guy says go fuck yourself, and then you have to go back and say yes.
Yes.
But with Skyrim, there was like the remain silent. The Skyrim, there's 3 different options, and but then like, but that just makes it feel more like you're part of it than just kind of watching it unfold.
Yes, and I mean, I don't actually know how to phrase this without being super spoily. Well,
no, go for it. You can. Spoiler alert. I'm not a big spoiler guy, so don't worry.
Okay, well, it's not. The thing is, it's not so much a spoiler. Well, it's a spoiler for, I believe it was 8 or 10% of the community. So at the end of the main quest, you pick somebody to empower the Amulet of Kings.
Yep.
Or whatever. And
this is the main quest, correct?
Yes, back at the Soulburst quest, the main thing. And they won't let you sacrifice Abner Thorn.
Because everyone would be like, hey, fuck you, asshole. Like, you've been insulting me for literally 4 hours. Like, time to go, champ. But everyone's like, no, Abnar Tharn's actually the only person who knows one specific integral thing to us survive. Oh, of course he fucking does. Of course he didn't tell anyone else.
Yes. So...
It doesn't piss me off or anything, Lotus. I'm fine. Relax.
All right. So this is the thing. All right. I chose, as much as people have condemned me for being a monster, I took out Sai Sahan.
What the fuck?
Okay, so hear me out. So if you're going to empower... So I am super, super self-righteous when I play video games.
Did you just come on here to trigger me, dude?
So if you're trying to power up to beat a Daedric Prince, and it's all on me, I want to be the best fucking dude that I can be.
All right.
So I take out the guy who's the strongest to make my amulet way more kick-ass. I.e., I need to off Sai Sahan because he's the best.
Dude, I don't know. What's the old guy's name, dude? He's blind. He's miserable, dude. He hasn't showered in literally 3 years.
My amulet? Give me a break. The dude's got osteoporosis. He ain't going to help me do anything.
He needs help crossing the street, let alone being part of your amulet. But you ruined the love story of what's her name, Lyris and Sai Sahan.
Look, man, I need to be number 1. So
all right, I have my own theory about this, and I'm going to tell it to you right now, Lotus. You have the hots for Lyris, and the only way to get to her is to get rid of her love. So your character awesome.
Do I look like Ninja 614 in his demands for a Lyris mount?
That's so good.
So I have to get rid of him, right? And as everybody knows, this is why, like, it's sort of spoilery, but then they spoiled it themselves in the trailer. Sai Sahan shows back up.
Oh,
and my thing, I was like, the fuck? Like, on that stream, in, like, the live reveal thing, I was like, wait a minute. What?
Bro, you did!
I was like, dude, I don't want to rain on your parade, but you're in a necklace. Like, you're all done. I don't know what to tell you. And, as I have just said, that I really like the writing team and they've improved greatly, and I will not take that back because I think they do an awesome job.
Yeah, overall, they're awesome.
The explanation for why Sahan is back sucks. It's awful.
Is it as bad as explaining why Dark Elves and Argonians are on the same team, or Orcs and Bretons?
On the same team?
Because that was a problem at like the beginning of the game.
I remember that.
I was like, wait. Dark Elves have enslaved the Argonians for generations, and now you're telling me they're fighting on the same side of the
We're
North?
cool real quick, though.
So,
I can buy that people do weird things in a civil war sometimes. It's like that is a bit of a stretch, but it's like, okay, that's fine as long as they're not like bro hugging the Telvanni, who are super in favor of slavery. Like, I guess I can let this go because they still don't like each other, but it's almost like we have a mutual enemy, so we need to just deal with each other.
Yep,
I can deal with that. Yeah, the Sai Sahan things. It's one of the only times in the game that I was just a hard oof. That was not a great explanation.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's a certain situation where so few people are ever going to know what it was anyways, because nobody killed Sai Sahan. Less people killed Lyris, everybody killed Varen because Varen sucks. Like,
Well, it's just not that Varen sucks. It was like, okay, you're old, you're blind. These two are in love. I mean, you couldn't spell it out any different.
Started all this, like,
yeah.
like,
you're the one who mucked this all up at the beginning.
Right.
And the thing I do want to say though about the stories quickly is the thing with the writing in ESO, and as someone who's critiqued it. So two things. First thing is with the alliances. Lore is created to make the game better, not the game is made to make the lore better. So I'm fine with the lore being a little bit wonky for the sake of a good game. And
you can stretch it. Yeah.
And the factions make sense situationally. They make sense location-wise. And so for those reasons, I understood what was going on. And then with the ESO storytelling, as each DLC you play, the writing gets substantially better. I think Morrowind's was okay. 100%. Somerset's was a little bit better, and then Elsewhere's, from what I've heard, I haven't played it, people say Elsewhere's the best story written so far.
It's very, very good.
So, as long as there's an improvement as we're going...
And the side quests are also, like,
which is important.
Improved. Like, they become... As the series went on, they became way less throwaway. They never really had the, collect 10 rat butts or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, they were way less. It's like, oh, I lost my frying pan in the woods, go get it. It's like, okay, that's fine. And now it's like these intricate side things. It's like, okay, that's much better even if you're not on the main quest. But at the same time, I feel like because you can do stuff and also it's a weird orders, it might also be getting really hard to write around that.
Yeah.
And it kind of removes some of, like, in this case, okay, if you killed Lyris, well, you're going to be in the situation I was in last time, because straight up Lyris is in the trailer. So
yeah, they
guess
totally.
Who else is back? Like, what's her explanation?
Yeah, no, there's.
You could use the same one because you can't see both. You can only see one or the other. But like, it's. Again, it was just weak by comparison, so I was kind of like, ooh, that is what I consider a pretty rare miss.
Yeah, and
on that.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, that one didn't
stick.
That didn't do it for me, just because if you're gonna give me a chance to make a decision, don't then undermine it by taking it away later. Just don't give me the choice to start with if that's the case.
Exactly. I agree, and I think what happened with that situation is they were like, oh, let's bring him back, like it'll be hype. And then I think they were like, oh, wait, people may have killed them. Like, I think it may have been a little bit more of an afterthought than I think the hype that it creates is a better net plus than the people in your situation. So I think they outweighed it there. Right. But it is frustrating when people take Elder Scrolls lore so seriously, and I feel like I can it's a real testament to how great the writing was before Elder Scrolls Online. So it's hard. It's hard when you feel like that's being undermined or underappreciated, because there are some great stories in Elder Scrolls lore that you could tell. Now, do I know them off the top of my head? Hell no. But do I know they exist? Absolutely. That would also work in this situation. And I feel like Greymoor is getting a lot of undermined hate in the sense of just like, oh, we don't get a new class. Oh, the lore was kind of not paid as much attention to here maybe as Somerset was, where I feel like they took really, really careful care in constructing that story. So,
right. And I agree. And it's like my big thing personally is as long as they don't go completely overboard, it doesn't tend to bother me.
Yep, I agree.
Because a lot of people, got real bent out of shape when W Dragons showed up to start with, and everybody's like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
yeah, dragons shouldn't be here.
First of all, it was all the dragons are dead.
Yep.
And it's like, well, no, that's not true. They're supposed to be in hiding. But on the flip side, they're not supposed to be everywhere and all this crap. And personally, I'm fine with the idea of them being just like, okay, in Elsewhere, there's actually, if you look it up, because everybody was voicing their very loud opinions when that happened, it's fine. There's enough wiggle room that it doesn't bother me, where it's like, well, Elsewhere, there's so little known about Elsewhere during the Interregnum, which is where ESO takes place. that seems fine. Like
Yep.
they become myths, they become whatever. I was like, as long as they're not flying all over the place, it doesn't really bother me. Now, cue to the Slay Dragon Save Khajiit event, the charity thing they did, where all the main towns like actually had dragons in them. But that was a charity event. I don't give a shit if it's for charity or if it's for good cause. Fuck your story. If it's gonna help something that matters, I'm fine with taking a like, okay, it's a goofy event. That's fine. It's doing a greater good. I'll let that slide.
Yep.
For the sake of entertainment. And then they took them right back out after the events.
Yep.
Which
So
is
it's
exactly
back.
what I
Yep.
was saying. It was like, okay, nope, I don't mind. Then that's fine. But it's like if every day I'm in, Skyrim, say I'm in Winterhold or something like that, and there's dragons flying over. I'm like, okay, I feel like this seems weird that this was somehow left out of the history books. Like, what the fuck?
The theory I like with Elder Scrolls, and this is the one I really hope they go by when Elder Scrolls 6 does come out, is it's a
We'll all
dragon.
be dead by that point.
Yeah,
actually.
it's true. Yeah. My grandchildren will. I'll be sure to pass on this hope, but I hope the interregnum that we're living in right now in Elder Scrolls Online is a dragon break.
Yes.
Okay. I hope.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Yep.
Because I am convinced that it is.
It has to be. It has to be. They're going free form. It has to be. And I'm 1,000,000,000% okay with that. Let's do that and then do whatever the hell makes the game great, and we can explore different ideas. But then when we go back to Test 6, where it's like in that universe, I don't want to read about the heroes from the interregnum in the Ebonheart Pact.
Well, that's exactly it. When you have a dragon break, I mean, it is like, hey, here's your timelines, and I'm shuffling a deck of cards, and they're all just like, oh, okay, this is what you get. You get this deck of cards. All these happened, but also none of them happened. Like, it's all just wedged into one mess. So I'm fine with that because it could also be the only game that I've ever heard of where you have an MMO, so whatever the last time they announced numbers, it was like 13 million accounts created or whatever it was. You have 13 million independent heroes created, so to speak, and theoretically every single one of them can be canon because that could just be 13 million different timelines all wedged together during the Dragon Break.
Exactly.
Which I'm like, dude, because of this weird Dragon Break idea / Elder Scrolls MacGuffin that they wrote in because they couldn't write their way out of the ending to Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, they have a really pretty solid way of fucking with their own canon, but then also keeping their canon at the same time.
Absolutely. And it's not like they came up with the Dragon Break. That was already in lore.
Yeah,
so
that was some old shit.
Yeah. And I do want to segue now a little bit because this guy, you would think, all right, Lotus, he's an Elder Scrolls guy. Yeah, probably get on. He's playing ESO. Hell no, he's not. When you get on a Lotus of Doom stream, this guy is booting up the old 95 arena. And deciding to punish himself.
Fall, I beat Elder Scrolls Shadowkey on an N-Gauge due to popular write-in on the podcast.
Oh my god.
That was supposed to be a joke, and everybody really wanted to see me do it. It was interesting. Also, N-Gauges suck. That game ran at about 4 frames a second and took me probably around 35 hours to beat.
Oh, God. How's Arena been treating you so far? I was watching a little bit of it. So, it crashes a little bit.
It crashes a lot a bit, yeah. Well, it is a Bethesda game.
Yeah, true.
Is it a bug or a feature? Who knows? But, so, I've come to the conclusion that I clearly have a different form of... what is it? Is it sadism or no masochism? Where some people play Dark Souls, I play outdated Elder Scrolls games.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Is fucking unmerciful.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I was watching and I'm like, never.
Yeah. The people who have clipped stuff off my stream. So again, once I did that one, I made the snide comment of, look, I beat the shittiest one. I can beat any of these. So everybody said I should just beat all of them.
I like it.
So that is my goal, is I'm planning on beating every Elder Scrolls game, including 2 JavaScript Flash games that were out on flip phones.
Yep, I know exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm gonna get a picture of every end credit is my goal, so that I can just make them like mural out of them. And
Dude, all right, I'm just gonna say this right now. You hold me to this. You send me the end credit scene from each one, and I will personally pay to have them plaqued, and I will send it to you. You hold me to it. I'm not even joking. I will get the thing fucking plaqued, and when you next time you're on the podcast, it'll be behind you on the wall. All right?
I like this idea.
You gotta send them to me, and
All
then
right,
I'll do the rest.
Okay. Don't worry, you got time. These
Yeah,
babies
I'm sure I do. I will start putting the money away today, and in 10 years, we will get that plaqued, all right?
Yeah, this because some of these are going to be rough. I don't know. So I'm also going into these blind so far, which has not been kind.
Ballsy play.
Yeah, also, it's could be bad, as I found out already. I sort of fucked my character in Arena so that I'm permanently handicapped because I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Character creation is not a joke in those games. It's not like Elder Scrolls like 4, 5, or ESO where you can kind of
respec.
Yeah,
no, you're
fucked.
You can be punished various ways, and that's your surprise. Is as surprise mechanics were referred to in chat. Your surprise mechanic is, hey, look, you didn't die of like cholera or whatever random disease you got, because your skill points are randomly rolled each level up.
Oh my god!
Between 3 and 6. So if you roll a bunch of 3s, you're just straight up worse than somebody who has better RNG than you.
Oh my gosh!
And I learned that the way to cheese that is to quick save right before you level up. Well, I was 10 levels deep before I figured that out.
Oh my god,
basically,
so you're already fucked. You've already taken so many bad rolls.
And I said, screw it, I'm going with this. And then I found out that people generally say level cap is technically infinite, but it gets so exponentially horrific after level 20, you just won't level up anymore.
Oh my god.
I'm like, cool, so half of my levels are trash because I remember a lot of 3s. So
oh no.
I got that going for me.
So 15 years, I'll have the plaque ready.
Exactly.
I'll make you a quilt. It'll be a quilt with all the end credits. It won't even be a plaque. And by this point, I'll just start knitting.
It's so because, and again, like, okay, yeah, I stream it. It took me a while to even figure out how to stream the thing because it doesn't show up as a game. Well, it's in the directory, which I thought was incredible. But OBS has no idea that I'm playing a game. It's just like, I don't know what you're doing.
Are you doing a screen capture, I'm guessing, or something?
So I'm screen capturing a modified DOS box.
Oh my god.
Because it's the only way I can get it to show the image.
All right, I'm going to make you a separate quilt for each one of the end credits. You will have 5 quilts.
So to give a gauge, I didn't stream right out the gate because I didn't realize at first that was going to work. And then people asked if I could figure it out, so I did.
Yeah, I loved watching it, to be honest. It's really good content. Like, it's really good content.
So it is now.
And no one will take it away from you because no one wants to do it. You are so unique.
I've had so many people say they started the game and they're like, yeah, I fucking quit. What do you, I'm just going to watch you. Like, I'm done. I don't want to do this. This isn't fun. I'm like, great. That's sort of a compliment. Thanks, I guess. Like, but the thing is, I recently, because even though I've been on Twitch for a while, I'm hyper inconsistent with streaming. And
well, being a part of the podcast you're part of, and I'm sure the back end work that goes into that.
That's more of my focus.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys have a great following on.
Right, so it's like that's more of my. But it's fun to stream, and I like it in the chat with people, and it makes games where you're just dying repeatedly and you don't even know why way more entertaining. So I recently found out that you can just set it to be a collection. So that Twitch eliminates your crap after like your VODs after like 2 weeks or whatever.
Yep.
So if you set it as a collection, it's there forever.
Oh, perfect.
So for the people who couldn't catch it live and stuff like that, and I was going to try to export it to YouTube and junk like that, and I'm like, oh, good, more things for me to try to find time for.
Yeah.
Found out that, so my tragedy at playing through these games is just collections now. So it's like I've had people jumping in and being like, "Oh, I watched the first thing. You died like 45 times like as soon as the game started." I was like, "Yeah, because I didn't even know I was being hit and I was just dying." And it turns out you can get yellow fever and you just shit yourself and die. And I'm like, fast travel kills you in Arena if you're diseased. You can die to fast travel.
Oh my god.
It is a different beast of a game.
Well, I commend you, dude. I absolutely commend you. And regardless of everything else, it's super good content. So, as much as it's a pain to stream, as a content creator, very unique, very fun to watch. So I think you've kind of found a little gold mine. And the thing is, you're in a gold mine that has more booby traps, so many people don't even want to go in, because everyone's like, oh yeah, people would love to watch that, but no. Well, for my mental health.
Also, I'm assuming some of the draw is the fact that, man, these ESO takes weird amounts of influences from these games. Fang Lair is the first dungeon you go to in Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. Granted, it doesn't look anything like the disaster world that he puts us through.
Yeah.
But I probably died as much in there as I do in a vet run of that on day one. And right now, for everybody who has mentioned how much they love Skyrim, granted, it took me 7 hours longer than expected because I couldn't find my way through the goddamn ice fortress, but I just made it to Labyrinthian.
So it's all there.
Yeah, all these places are
1995, they were there.
And it's amazing because I'm just like, what? And they give you this little splash screen with art, and it's all pixelated and stuff like that. But it's like, holy shit, these really are these things. Like, dude, it's really cool to see in like old 1995 sprite graphics.
That's awesome. Damn. Well, maybe one day. No, I probably never give him a shot. Go watch Lotus of Doom, guys, if you want to watch them. If you want to go watch them. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I kind of want to shift away from the gaming a little bit. I want to go a little bit more to content creation.
Sure.
Your Twitter account, bro. I'm in love with it. Like, no, seriously. So, as a little side story, I left streaming for a little bit because, and I've been telling all my old streaming friends who I've reconnected with, I just got in a really dark place with streaming. Mm-hmm. I was staring at viewer counts. I was staring at growth, and I got to the point where I was like, why am I not growing? I was getting jealous of other content creators. It was really bad, and I'll own up to all of it. I was not ever really toxic, but I was just very...
You lost the love for it.
You should not stream for viewers. You should stream the game and then let the viewers come.
Yep.
When I do this podcast, there could be one person here, there could be 10, there could be 10,000. I'm enjoying the conversation. That's why I'm doing this. So I just realized I had to take a break. And so when I came back, I said, well, what are some of the ways? Because even if I'm just coming back, you still want to, if you're streaming, see growth or see an influence that you have. So I said, all right, well, what's the way to do that? And one of the ways that you've shown me is fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
And Discord too. It's not just Twitter. And I don't know if you've noticed in the past, since I've come back to streaming, I've been a little more active on Twitter. Commenting, liking. And I guess because when we talked the last time, you were not as active on Twitter. What was sort of the jump? What was sort of the idea for Twitter? Because there's people who want to get into streaming, and streaming there's a little bit of marketing you have to do, but it's not. You're just being a good person and a part of a great community. But like, what kind of was like, oh yeah, I should be doing this. This is interesting to me.
So it's kind of funny, like when I got more into trying to get stuff, it started like a while back, and actually I would like to, I know he's been on the show before, but Ninja614 gave me a couple little kind of tidbits that he had discovered along the way of like, don't use 10,000 hashtags. It doesn't connect you to a bunch of things, buries you in the algorithm. And don't tag 450 people. That ain't going to get you shit. And I'm like, that's totally fine. Like, I'm not going to, I wasn't really
planning on it,
that.
but still.
But yeah, okay. And he had mentioned that he's like, one thing that's kind of weird is just consistency. And if you're just there, you kind of just show up. And my big thing is very much of I do these things because they're fun. I like doing them. Like similar to what you said. Like this is just fun. Like
Yeah,
you and
yeah, no,
shit about this.
yeah,
Like,
in
it's
no
just
way
fun.
does it look like you're trying to like, oh, come follow me, guys, everyone come do this, everyone. You're just being active.
If anything, I say if you don't like fat corgis, Elder Scrolls Online, some Fallout stuff. I think that's about all I tweet about. Yeah, it's probably not for you. Those are really the main bullet points.
Yeah, true.
So the thing is, it's like, one, this community is super friendly, and a lot of the people are just generally like nice people.
Yep.
A lot of people don't think highly enough of themselves, I've learned, which I think is a shame, because I think a lot of people don't realize that they have much more potential than they're currently realizing. But a lot of it is just me liking to talk to people and getting kind of easily distracted at work a lot, which is
but
I
definitely am in the same boat.
Yeah. And the other big thing is I'm not the only one. We've had kind of a joke running for a while that the Tales of Tamriel Twitter is our podcast Twitter is essentially the Twitter version of Sheogorath, because it's 3 people all with the account login.
Yep.
And it looks like we're fucking talking to ourselves because we carry on conversations with ourselves on our own Twitter. So as a result, you get 3 really different aspects, whether it's me, whether it's Pixie, or whether it's Ark actually tweeting, and we've taken to dropping who the person is that's talking, so people have actually sort of just figure out who's doing what. But as a result, I realized that posting stupid shit just that makes people chuckle or laugh or be like, that is the worst dad joke I've ever seen. You just get like a groan or something. It seems like people just enjoy that because it's just like, oh, look, it's the internet, but not everything is shit all the time, or
absolutely,
whatever miserable thing somebody's complaining about. And ever since it was just kind of like, this is just fun, I'm just going to keep this goofy, I have met a lot of people, I found out. And then as a side effect of that, posting from these events, which I will very much say I have considered myself incredibly lucky that I have been allowed to attend these things. The Vegas event, PAX East each year, talking to the devs, being able to, being invited on Tales of Tamriel, and now being like a permanent co-host going on over 2 years at this point. Like, that is incredibly amazing that I got these opportunities. It wasn't necessarily anything I feel like I necessarily did. I just enjoy making the most of what I'm provided until I'm not doing it. And as a result, I got to just meet a shit ton of cool people that I talk to a lot on Twitter. And I've had people bring up, they're like, oh man, you have like a lot of things get posted. And I'm like, yeah, I don't.
You get a lot of likes from like the Elder Scrolls Online page likes a lot of your stuff. You get a lot of bigger streamers that are also liking. Like, it's just you really are like the antithesis of a very positive Twitter.
Yeah, and it's Casual Ranger has a very similar vibe.
I was gonna say you've kind of like you're almost fighting for the crown. I mean, Casual is the ESO Twitter guy.
Yeah, and that's just it. It's like he's a good inspiration as to like, hey, how do you be upbeat and stuff? And I'm not above. I mean, I've done it on the show already. Like, look, when you want to criticize something, that's fine, as long as there's a constructive end to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm always fine with people doing that with my stuff. It's like, oh, I don't like whatever aspect to the podcast, and it's like, okay, well, that's just kind of my gig. Like, I might not be your taste, so hopefully, Ark and Pixie are more your thing, or something like that. Or it's like. The biggest one that I do know is kind of jarring because I am super PG as the best I can on the podcast just to make it more acceptable, and that's how it was started. I've had people come into my stream, and when they find out that I stream for Extra Life, they assume like, oh, it's a charity streamer, so he's probably that was like 14 F-bombs when he just died. And that I've had people be like, oof, that's a little jarring. And I'm like, well, let's see. I'm from Boston, so
already. Yeah.
Is an adjective, a verb, and a noun. And on top of that, it's like that's how I just talk in general.
Yeah, no, yeah.
And like if I'm ever actually mad at the game, you're not going to see that because I would have turned it off. I'm like, oh, this isn't fun. Done. Like,
yeah, absolutely,
I'm not
absolutely.
getting paid for this, so like I'm out.
Yeah, no, that makes complete sense, and it's just you're what you've constructed over on Twitter. It's just coming back into the community as someone who just again took 6 months. I wasn't looking on Twitter. I just needed to move, and then coming back, I'm like, damn, like Lotus has definitely like embraced the community, and it's benefited you in so many ways. Like, and then not just numbers wise, but also like you seem to be enjoying yourself. Like I was watching your podcast, and you guys are just laughing and having fun. Yeah, and it's like okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's just it. It's like there wasn't really a grand strategy at the beginning. Also, I guess like I say, the thing that originally I had the most recent thing, whereas technically I'm not when the new dungeons hit, but one of the big things I had was I completed everything in Elder Scrolls Online, every piece of content on Veteran, which a lot of people were like, what? Like, what? Like, that's just weird. Like, what is the matter with you? Why do you play this so much? Because the amount of people who have all the trophies and stuff like that are pretty slim. And a lot of it, I'm like, oh, this isn't skill. This is so much just like long grinding.
Yep.
So that was like one of the big things that like a lot of people just kind of like, oh, this guy plays this a lot. Maybe he does stuff. And then it was like, oh, he has a podcast or whatever. So I assume it was kind of like a looping effect.
Yep, absolutely,
and
yeah.
I guess if you haven't played elsewhere, this was a while back, and I don't know. It's better. I can't backlog through Twitter. I just assume once it's gone forever, so nobody can ever find my shit. But it's there somewhere. I forget who mentioned on the podcast like how brutal the dragons were or whatever, and I only really play a tank, and I will never say that I'm like, oh, I'm a super good player, you should do what I do or whatever. I'm just a very, I just refuse to accept that I can't do things. So I'll just smash myself against it until eventually it works.
It works out, yep.
And I made the comment that I'm going to go up and I'm going to poke a dragon in the face and it's not going to kill me. So a bunch of people said, I'd like to see that. So my first thing that I ever got to say went technically viral because I think it had like 150,000 views. Was I ran up and I did the poke emote to the W Dragon's face. At the exact moment it did a Fusro Da and chucked me against the mountainside.
That's awesome. I'll have to see that clip.
But on the flip side, it only did 45% of my health bar damage.
So you were fine. So you didn't die.
And on a technicality.
So the meme worked.
Yeah. So I was just like, oh, ha ha ha, thinking like that was like, okay, that was funny. And then like Elder Scrolls Official like retweeted it and was like, we could have told you that would have happened. And like Bethesda, I'm like, okay, this is way funnier than
too big.
I thought it was. I was like, I appreciate the help, guys, but like, yikes, I didn't expect that many people to want to watch me get spiked into a wall, but I guess I deserved that. So,
dude, I mean, yeah, you like I said, it's a really, really cool way to go about it. But
yeah, and
go ahead.
No, and that's just it. It's like when it's fun and like you said, not numbers.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just like you don't really need to do anything. You get to just goof around, and if people like it, they like it, and if not, there's an audience for pretty much everything.
Yep. Whether
it's big or small or whatever, find people you just like hanging out with, and there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the sentiment to it. Dude, we should do a 3-hour one. Because I'm like, oh man, dude, like,
I just looked at the time. I was like, cool, 5 a.m. gets to be a thing real early.
Yeah. So we are at the hour, dude. I want to thank you so much for coming back on. We hit so many topics I want to talk about, and dude, I want to have you on again. So the way I'm doing the podcast is I'm doing a month of podcast and then a month off prepping for the next month. Okay. So, I got a couple more people coming. I actually have Ranger hopefully coming.
Yeah, he is the greatest.
Yeah, I'm so excited. I've actually never talked to him.
I met him in Vegas, and he is super, super great. Man, that guy can drink a lot of beer. And he guested on our podcast, and I think it might be the longest show that's It was just shy of 4 fucking hours.
Wow, yeah. I usually only do mine for an hour.
It was so long. We're like, we might have to break this. Like, this might actually literally need to go into like multiple feeds because holy crap.
Well, it's funny too because when I have guests, I have people where I do an hour because I get about an hour of like content ready. Some people, I get to the hour and I'm like, okay, perfect. And then there's some people, Kyle Dempster is one of them. Me and him could literally go 4 hours. I've had him on podcast.
Super chill dude.
And like we finished and we kept talking. Kev DeWitt's coming on next week. Me and him.
I've never really interacted with him. He seems funny though. From what I've heard, he sounds like a nice dude. From everybody that I know who knows him.
Yeah, Kev took me under his wing, even though I'm older than him, which is always funny. But he took me under his wing. So I'm gonna have him on. He's another person, and then you are definitely one person who I feel like we could just go again. So I definitely want to have you back on. But before we get going, guys, Lotus is literally on so many different platforms. You guys should follow his Twitter. You guys should follow his Twitch and watch him struggle through Arena with me because it's so much fun. And then the Dungeon Crawler Network, guys, the Tales of Tamriel podcast. He is on it. It is a super good podcast, guys. Keeps you up to date on Elder Scrolls news and a bunch of other stuff. You guys should definitely give him some love. Lotus, I want to thank you for coming back on, my dude. I do not want you to leave the call as I'm going to close the stream and then I'll let you get going. To everyone who watched the stream or listened, Lotus, we are on Spotify, my dudes. I don't know if you saw. I got the podcast on Spotify.
No way.
Yes.
How did I miss? Okay.
They're not all up yet. They're not all up
yet. But I'm looking it up literally on the podcast.
Look up Snowcast.
What? Done and done.
I want you to look it up because you were the one who's like, bro, you got to get this.
Right there.
There they are.
Followed.
So what's going to happen is this won't be up until I get the other ones up because I want them to be in chronological order. Because if you look right now, the one with modified last week is actually at the bottom because it was the first one I posted. And now I'm posting all the old ones. So I'm putting the backlog in.
Yep. And
then I'll get you up. But either way, thank you everyone for watching. I do want to quickly answer who's the best ESO player you've ever played with. Elcast is a great one. Gilliam the Rogue for me. I got to do a trial with him. It was absolutely insane, and I am proud to say I rezzed him. That was the most proud moment I've ever had in ESO. He thought I couldn't get to him, and I told him, Gil, silly Gil, I will res you.
That's awesome.
That's the most proud ESO moment I've ever had. But on that note, again, Lotus, thank you for coming, guys. Be sure to check him out, and to everyone who's watching, listening, thank you, guys. We will see you next time. Peace out.
See ya.